Part of Mayor Jackson's Clean Cleveland program is addressing the continuing problem of illegal dumping. Cleanup crews spend a lot of time and money responding to reports of debris dumped off by contractors, haulers, and individuals looking to avoid landfill fees. The city is calling on your help to send the message that Cleveland will not tolerate illegal dumping. The city needs your help by identifying anyone suspected of dumping debris in vacant lots, alleys, or abandoned homes. If you see it happening, report it by calling 664-DUMP. That's 664-DUMP.
Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm your host, Leah Haslage, and today's episode is all about jazz, primarily the Tri-C Jazz Fest, and I'm here with Managing Director Terri Pontremoli. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Terri, welcome to Listen Up. Now, you have been part of Tri-C Jazz Fest for years now, off and on, as well as the Detroit Jazz Festival. Tell us a little bit about your background, because I know you're also a musician.
I'm a classically trained violinist, and I spent many years going to school at the Cleveland Institute of Music and teaching there, and also freelanced a great deal, played in the pits at the front row and the pits over here at Playhouse Square, and hired musicians to play. So I've always been around American music, even though my training was all classical, Western European. But I grew up with a father who played jazz guitar. And it really influenced the way I hear music, and it really got me into the jazz thing.
Now, you saw a particular concert, and that's when it really hit you that you need to follow jazz as part of your life path, isn't there?
Well, there was one concert. It was when I had initially left one of the festivals, and I was looking for my next opportunity, and I went to hear Ahmad Jamal at Severance Hall. And I heard that concert and I just said, I need to be back in jazz. No matter what, I just need to be back in jazz. And then the opportunity for Detroit came up. And it was just tremendous because Detroit is such a musical city. It's very musical, and jazz is definitely in the DNA. There's something in the water. They've produced so many great jazz players there.
Now, after being in Detroit for a couple of years, you came back, and this is your second or third year back at Tri-C. Mm-hmm. Now, tell us, in the 34th year this year, in case people don't know, how did this festival even come about? Did people just decide at Tri-C that there's this need for jazz to be recognized in Cleveland?
You know, it's a really interesting thing. If you look at the year that this festival started, many festivals across the country were starting at the same time. I think it was 1980, and I think what was happening is that the jazz touring of going to clubs was really slowing down. And in order for you to be able to hear all the jazz greats, where you would hear them just flip through Detroit and Chicago and Cleveland, that wasn't happening so much anymore. So people started saying maybe a festival would give us a little more life. And you know, sometimes it's also great to know that, like outdoor festivals in particular, it's hearing jazz by the light of day and not in a smoky club. But basically, yeah, it started in 1980 with Dr. Tom Horning, who taught at Tri-C, but his whole feeling was that there needed to be a jazz focus, even though there was not even a jazz studies program at the time. And so what it was 2 days. Kids from all over the area came in and played, and there would be a nationally known artist that would teach and hear them play and adjudicate, and then at night there would be a concert. So it started as 2 days, and it burgeoned into what it has become.
Which is now 10 days.
It's an orgy. It's a jazz orgy.
Now, why 10 days? What can people expect in 10 days of this jazz festival?
I think it's mostly that, you end up starting on one weekend, and really programming that weekend and then going through the week and then closing on the other weekend. And a lot of festivals are 10-day festivals for that very reason. It kind of gives you those 2 weekends to concentrate on.
And this isn't just about live performances, because education is so important in learning about the background of these, not only these artists, but about jazz and the history of it. So there's many different workshops people can attend as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And this year we're really excited. We've expanded the 2-day educational thing into 3. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, it's all kids coming in and playing 4 nationally known artists. And the nationally known artists are very young. Dominic Farinacci, Orrin Evans, Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, a new singer. She's only 23.
Wow.
Yeah. Javon Jackson. So these are people with like life and energy and that the kids can really relate to. So not only do they hear the kids play, but they all do special workshops and master classes, and those are open to the public. Anybody can come and see those. But then at night, then there's concerts.
Yeah, and you guys manage every year to get these great headliners. Like for 2013, we have Natalie Cole and Aaron Neville. What draws these big acts to come to Cleveland and enjoy this festival?
We do. We draw them. I mean, basically, anybody can get an act. I mean, you just, if you're in the business of presenting. But what I like about this year in particular is there's some roots to this. Jazz is a very inclusive music, and I keep saying this because I think people think of it as niche, but the musicians themselves are always listening to all kinds of music and incorporating that music. Young people like Robert Glasper is doing a lot of stuff with hip hop, and people like Erykah Badu and stuff like that. So they are always listening. They're taking Indian influences and Chinese influences. I mean, it's a very broad, inclusive music. So I think that this year, to start off with New Orleans and just kind of the heart of it, the swamp, is a great way for us to party down. And for the first time, we're having an opening night party that's free and open to the public in the State Theater lobby. And it will be featuring a funk band. So we're calling it, we're going to have a funky good time.
That's great. Now, a lot of different venues in Cleveland do participate outside of Tri-C. It's State Theater, it's Severance Hall.
Not Severance Hall this year, but Severance Hall has been a partner in the past. MOCA is a partner. Karamu House is a partner. So we're always out in different communities trying to reach people, and that is starting to be more of the focus that we do throughout the year, so that it's not just during Jazz Fest, but it's all, and Nighttown is a partner too, very seriously.
I love Nighttown.
It's great.
All right, well, when we get back, we're going to talk more about how you can be involved throughout the entire year in case you missed Jazz Festival this year. So stick around right here for more of Listen Up, Cleveland.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Make sure I got this right. Artist coming.
Brianna is ready to ride.
Here goes nothing.
She's taking the Rapid to work for the very first time.
Gas is a lot nowadays, so definitely save. Yeah, it's like, when you don't have to drive, you can just really take everything in, so.
And how does that make you feel?
I feel like a big kid. I should not feel like a big kid right now, but ta-da, made it.
Made it in style, Brianna. It's easier than you think, Cleveland. Get your personal starter kit today and get ready to ride RTA.com.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up, Cleveland. We're talking Tri-C Jazz Fest, and it's not just the yearly festival that happens around April, but there's stuff going on throughout the entire year. I know I went to Tri-C West for a while, and there's a jazz band there. Each campus offers jazz programs and has educational stuff.
That is correct. The focus of the Jazz Studies program is primarily at the Metro campus, but people can study music in all the campuses. What I think is really good about what we've been doing is that we started a Young Visiting Artist program. Dominic Farinacci, who is an alum of Tri-C, went on to Juilliard and now is performing and recording and doing all kinds of wonderful things and living in New York. He is our artistic director of the Young Visiting Artist program, and he's been bringing in different young artists throughout the year. And when he does that, we do these pop-up concerts in different places in the community, all advertised through social media and not through newspaper ads, to develop a young audience. And also we go to schools. And we reach, kids that are playing in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights and Lakewood and Bay Village and Solon and all that.
Well, jazz is making a huge comeback again. I know we were talking earlier about a lot of restaurants are coming and having jazz bands now included. Do you think people finally said, hey, we need this sound again in Cleveland? Like it's been lacking?
It could be. I always talk about jazz needing an ecosystem. Jazz has its own ecosystem. And in order for it to succeed, you have to have clubs that play it. You have to have opportunities for your local musicians to play and showcase. You have to have programs where students learn how to play it. You have to have radio stations that play it to make it all healthy. So you put that all together with a festival and you can create a lot more vibrancy. I think that everybody who likes music is now, here, and this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that because people listen so much more independently than they used to, that you can't pigeonhole things as much. I think there are lots of young people that are just interested in good music. And, look at all the indie people that are making it because of this. I mean,
Right.
I just think there's a broadening, and the fact that you can go on YouTube and see every historic moment with every single jazz player or blues player is really remarkable. So if you start being a little bit interested, you click on, and then before you know it, you've spent like several hours going, wow, listen to this, and here's Nancy Wilson, here's Cannonball Adderley. And so I think there's a little bit more experimentation with the listeners. That's what I see.
Now, a lot of big acts, we talked earlier, come out for the festival, but there's a lot of Cleveland acts that participate every year as well, is there?
Yep, we always feature our own in different places. The last one that we did, we featured Ernie Kripke's Fat Tuesday Big Band on President's Day. Again, we're doing things throughout the year, but we thought we're going to just swing on President's Day. You got to put Ernie Kripke's Big Band in there. I mean, they're wonderful. We also have a group called the TCJF Soundworks, led by Chris Anderson and Howie Smith. Also, trombone and saxophone, really great players here in Cleveland. And they're going to do a tribute to Dexter Gordon, who, if Dexter was alive today, he'd be 90. And so we have Javon Jackson and Dexter's widow, Maxine, who is coming to, she's actually going to show a little film, and she's going to talk about Dexter with Javon, and then they're going to play his music. And one of his songs, by the way, is Cheesecake, so I hope everybody's going to eat cheesecake. It'll all be at Nighttown.
Oh, how fun. Now, you had mentioned a lot of youth are getting now involved in the Jazz Fest. Tell us about some of these young emerging artists.
I think that this music is in wonderful shape. It's very healthy. There are so many great young players who have a lot to say, and so those are the people that we're going to be concentrating in the middle of the week. So Dominic Farinacci will be there, but in his group he's got Aaron Deal, this fabulous pianist who won the Indianapolis Piano Competition a couple of years ago. He's from Columbus, and he lives in New York. He's really special voice. Cecile McLaurin-Sylvant, this young singer who just won the Thelonious Monk vocal competition. She's only 23, and she's really got an old soul. She's really special. So she will be joining that group. Orrin Evans is also a young pianist out of Philadelphia, living in New York also. And then we're bringing in Anat Cohen. And Anat Cohen plays clarinet and saxophone. She's Israeli, but she has just gotten her citizenship over the last few years here. She's got two brothers who also play jazz, and sometimes they perform as the three Cohens. But they're all from Tel Aviv, and so what we have done this year is we invited Anat to come and play with a student ensemble from Tel Aviv, from the Ramon School. So we're very excited. The Jewish Federation has become a sponsor of this event, and we think it's just going to be wonderful, cutting edge, exciting music.
That's going to be very exciting. Now, throughout the year, there are different events that people can participate in and go to. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I know there's a summer series.
Yes, we actually, and we try to do it around the educational things that are happening. For instance, in the summer, there will be a summer camp. It's called Summer with the Jazz Masters. It'll happen in July, but along with that will come some special performances. They'll probably be done at Nighttown. So it's a matter of keeping in touch with us through social media and also on our website so that you can check and see what we're up to. And we also send e-blasts, so if you get on our list, you'll know what to come check out. You'll know what's free, what has a ticket price, all that kind of thing. We did a big celebration on President's Day. It seems like it's really good to celebrate American music on President's Day. This last one we called United We Swing, so that's in February. And then again, the pop-ups that just are opportunities.
Which people can only find out about through social media.
Absolutely.
So you have to follow them. How can people get more info?
I think the best thing to do is to go to try-cjazzfest.com. I have to make sure I say it right. try-cjazzfest.com.
Perfect. Right there.
Right there.
Right there. All right. Thank you so much, Terri, for being
great to be
here.
here. Thank you.
So excited for everything going on this year with Tri-C and the Jazz Fest. And when we come back to Listen Up Cleveland, we're going to take a look at the Jazz Fest this year and some of those emerging artists that Terri was talking about. So stick around.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Nearly half of all public school children in the United States have tried drugs or alcohol by the time they're 13 years old.
A third of teens have gone to house parties where there was alcohol, pot, cocaine, ecstasy, or prescription drugs.
Over half of kids say it would be easy for them to get pot if they wanted some.
7 out of 10 teenagers have been offered an illegal drug.
Teenagers whose parents talk to them about drugs are 42% less likely to use drugs.
Get your kids the truth about drugs. drugfreeworld.org.
Stand up to bullying.
High school is a time for figuring things out, like finding the square root of X when your ex won't stop texting you, or how to write an essay on 12th night, the night before it's due. It's about making friends and making memories. It's about deciding where you fit, where you stand, and what you simply won't stand for. Long after class is dismissed, after you've left the halls and moved on with life, after you've forgotten all the answers to all the tests, you'll remember the day you figured out the kind of person you were going to be. Stand up for someone being bullied, and they'll never forget you.
Join Much and Secret and share your anti-bullying pledge at facebook.com/meanstinks.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Lionel, welcome to Tri-C Jazz Fest. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here too.
And this is your first Tri-C Jazz Fest, correct?
Tri-C, I think I've been before.
You've come before?
Yes. Probably not, maybe not under my name, but I've been here
with
before.
Different groups.
Yes.
Yes, because you've been touring for a long time. You've worked with so many legends, including Herbie Hancock and Marcus Miller. You've been very blessed. What have you learned the most from these jazz legends?
Well, to be yourself and to be true to the music first. Actually forget about who you are really and serve the music first. So that's
yes. Now you have more of an electric sound as far as jazz goes. You're not more of the classic sounds, more of electric. But you're also known as your a nylon string guitar sense. But you're not doing it for this latest album. And why is that?
Why? Simply because I want to go a little more electric. That's all. Actually, I always play electric, mostly with Herbie. When it comes to my own project, I play. I play nylon string, but just for this latest CD Heritage, I play electric because I wanted to have electric sound. Actually, I changed also the bass. The bass usually I play acoustic with acoustic bass player. On Heritage, it's electric bass player, so it's more electric and groovy in the side. Just it's for change.
Now, with Heritage, the latest album, you have new musicians working with you than you have in the past. Have they influenced you then as far as musically, how you do things?
I mean, with this generation, we influence each other. You know, I co-produced the CD with Robert Glasper, who won actually the Artist of the Year, R&B of Grammy. So so it's all we influence each other. We learn from each other. And I wanted something different than what I used to do. Yeah.
Now, speaking of winning awards, you come from a great background. You've been a part of the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz. Now, how has that shaped you and influenced you throughout the years? Because a lot of legends have come from there and have been influenced by it.
Yeah, it's a great school. Actually, it's one of the schools that's really encourage identity. They help you to find your own voice and develop your own voice. That's something it's hard to teach because we are different. But they know how to do that just to by bringing a musician like Herbie, Wayne Shorter, Ron Carter, Terrence Blanchard. Of course, you learn to be yourself and to be true to yourself.
Now, you grew up in Benin, Africa. Who was your first musical influence? Who really started it all for you?
Well, I guess it's my older brother who was a guitar player. That's how I started. And yeah, he was the first one.
Does he still travel and tour as a musician with you, or did he kind of give it up and you took the lead?
Yeah, he gave it up. Now he's a banker. He's, tied up every day going to, 90-degree weather. He's doing good. But,
now, what would you like to see in the future for jazz, for the next generation coming up?
What I would love to see is some young musicians with their own personality. I think that's the way to do it and to go. As long as the record companies are supporting new talents with originality, this music never gonna die. I don't think it will die anyway, but I think instead of trying to recreate, to go back to the past, and young musicians trying to play like Miles or Coltrane. For me, it's good to learn from the tradition, but it's important to be true to what you do and think forward.
Now, I know you have a birthday in 2 days, so happy early birthday.
Thank you.
What would you like to see in the next year for yourself as a musician?
Just keep doing whatever I'm doing now. I want to learn more. That's my goal. That's always been my goal. I'm thirsty of learning. So write more music. Try some go to some unknown direction, not be afraid to knock myself on the wall if I'm wrong,
Well, you now have more of an electric sound, you said, with this new album with Heritage. Do you want to continue on with electric sound since you have come from the nylon guitar past?
I don't know that's a good question. I don't know what's gonna be next. We see. I mean, I may keep on with electric or not, but I think I love nylon and I'm always gonna play both, Yeah.
Very good. Well, have fun with Tri-C Jazz Fest, and thank you for sharing your talent to all of us because it is amazing. And look forward to Heritage, which is out now, is it not?
It is out last year, actually, since last year.
Check out Heritage, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.